Philadelphia Eagles are coming off a bye, and they will be rewarded with playing the Cleveland Browns, who are one of the worst teams in the league. I think they might actually have the worst, or they're definitely tied for the worst record in the league, and they might be picking first overall, depending on certain tiebreakers. And so, not a lot of things are going well for Cleveland, but they're going to look and try and bounce back here, get things turning the right way in this Week 6 matchup. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down the Browns-Eagles Week 6 matchup. But before we get into that, we do have a goal of getting to 100 new subscribers for this Week 6 prediction video series. We've been able to hit that goal the past couple of weeks thanks to all of our new members to the channel. So thank you to everybody that subscribed. If you haven't already, or if this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win and why. So, Ryan, I think the Eagles bye week came at a perfect time for them because things started to get maybe a little bit uneasy for both of them after losing to Tampa Bay in Week 4, but really more just so they can try and get healthy. A.J. Brown's missed the past couple of weeks. Devontae Smith missed Week 4 due to a concussion and just devastating hit actually in that Saints game. But so they're able to rest up, got to maybe fix a couple of things here after playing in September. While the Cleveland Browns, they have a litany, like just a huge list of injuries to begin with. But then also, too, they lost Denzel Ward and last week's game to hamstring injury. I'm going to assume, especially if it's a hamstring, probably not going to play in Week 6, depending on how severe it is. Okfunakowo, I think I probably missed that as well. He left the game last week due to an illness, so still probably someone to monitor, but he'll probably be fine. But still losing Denzel Ward is going to be a big loss to go along with all the other guys that have been hurt by the Browns this year. And then not to mention, too, their quarterback, Deshaun Watson. So want to throw it over to you here. What are your overall thoughts on both these teams, especially to the Eagles as well, who we haven't talked about in a couple of weeks since they had a bye?
Yeah, I'll start with the Browns. One of the big things for me is they just, on top of all the injuries, they have quit. And I think that was pretty evident with Deshaun Watson walking off the field. Kevin Stefanski was trying to get the play call into him. And Deshaun Watson is just like, we're not going for it on 4th down. I'm walking off. Like, send the punt team on. You have to call timeout, whatever. And he just, like, walked off the field. And that's really frustrating to see, especially 5 weeks into the season. And look, you're talking to a Patriots fan right now. I understand the troubles of how bad your offense can be this year. We have the 2 worst offenses in the league.
Yeah, but you had no expectations, and so
yeah. Well, I was about to get there, and to be fair, like, this Browns team is totally underwater with this Deshaun Watson contract. They have for the next 2 years, they have like $73 and like $74 million cap hits, according to Spot Track for his contract because it's fully guaranteed. They're not getting out of that, and so they're in a bad spot. This team knows it. They're kind of stuck with Deshaun Watson, and it doesn't look like they're going to be getting healthy anytime soon. And on the flip side of that, this Philadelphia team, you kind of mentioned it off the top. They had this bye week at the perfect time. They needed this week to kind of come back, get healthy, get some of their key playmakers back, and then they can really start to make a push and build towards the end of the season over these upcoming 13 weeks for them. So I really like kind of what this Philadelphia team has going for them. Had a rocky start, but I think they put to rest a lot of the issues that they had coming out of last year. So all in all, I think that's a good thing for them going into this game. I don't want to say it's a tune-up game for them going into the rest of the season, but I don't know.
I mean, it feels like it, though. I see what you're saying, because it's now, to be fair, the Browns went up against the Washington Commanders offense that is significantly better than I think a lot of people had initially expected. But even though the Las Vegas, they had they let them put up 20 points, and then the offense couldn't really do much of anything against a Raiders defense that's very banged up and maybe not really the best overall in the league. Then they lose to the Giants as well, the week before that. And the Giants, I think, are maybe going to be average. Giants have a solid defense, to be fair. But last week, though, to your point, it just seemed like there was just no fire, no kind of will to win it. And that's what's going to be interesting to see what happens throughout the rest of the season and what's going to happen come this offseason as well, because you mentioned the cap hit. And it'd be like, if a new house comes in, they just might say, screw it. Like, we're not doing this. We'll figure out a way to do it with $70 million less, but this guy's not going to be on our team. And so I think
Yeah.
maybe people in Cleveland would like that. But on the flip side, though, too, for Philadelphia, have to monitor everybody's overall status because nothing's guaranteed coming with this. But A.J. Brown hasn't played a game in North America yet this season. We last saw him in Brazil against Green Bay. And so that has definitely shown on this Eagles offense. So even, too, in their week 2 loss to the Falcons, which, to be fully fair, you guys should have beat us. That was a huge benefactor to us not having to worry about A.J. Brown. And Devontae Smith is a great receiver, but there's only so much he can do just because of his physical limitations. Compared to A.J. Brown, is how big, fast, and strong he is. He's clearly the number one. Getting him back on the field, getting him back in this offense, getting him reps and rhythm, it's going to be huge moving forward because that's what it was funny, like watching them in Brazil. Of course, that field was an ice rink and it was week 1, but that offense felt like they couldn't do anything wrong because it's like you have A.J. Brown on one side of the field, Devontae Smith on the other. Jahan Dotson's now has gotten a lot of good reps, and so that wasn't obviously in this game. But then you still have Dallas Goedert as well, who's a solid tight end. You got Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley in the backfield. If you're a defense, you're like, they can line up in the same formation, feel like every single time, and you don't know if they're going to run the ball, going to pass the ball, if it's going to be an RPO. It allows them a lot of more variety in that playbook when A.J. Brown is healthy. And Devontae Smith, too. And I think both those guys are going to come back. And so we haven't really even seen this full offense take off yet. And so looking forward to seeing them come back. I'm glad the Falcons played them when they weren't fully healthy. And so hopefully won't play them again at all or anytime in January because I think there's a lot of potential here. But to your point, though, this could be kind of a tune-up game if they are fully healthy because this Browns team just seems extremely banged up. I don't want to say like I'm not giving the Browns any shot. I'm obviously going straight into predictions here, but like I'm picking the Eagles. I think almost everybody picks the Eagles here. But it's hard to kind of find a way to convince yourself to pick a team when they seem like they don't even want to win. Like last year, the Cardinals team was void of talent for those first 10, 11 games. But, man, they fought every single week. And I'm just rooting for these guys. I want to see them play. And you can kind of see them improve. And to be fair to the Browns, they are extremely banged up. But, yeah, it just seems like there's just not that fight there.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is like they have a ton of talent. It's just can they play up to that talent? And through the first few weeks, we haven't really seen that. The only time we thought that they had a semblance or looked like a semblance of the team they thought they would be was in Jacksonville when it was pouring rain and that defense was actually able to stop Jacksonville a lot of the times that they went out there. And so that to me, I think is just it's poor coaching. The players don't look bought in. And I think Kevin Stefanski is going to be gone from here by the end of the year. At this point, they already made a bunch of turnover on the offensive coaching staff to hopefully be better for Deshaun Watson. And it hasn't been. And so this team is stuck with Deshaun Watson for the next 2 seasons. And yeah, so I'm going with the Eagles. You're going with the Eagles. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap this one up here. We can talk about Kevin Stefanski getting potentially fired in another video. If you have not already, go ahead and like and subscribe. It is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Cleveland Browns? Will it be the Philadelphia Eagles? And on that, we will see you guys.